Good evening, every pony and every creature. Welcome to tonight's podcast at DAG. As always, this is your host, Dratta Arcana, and welcome to Dratta Talks. And joining me tonight is special guests.
I'm PirateDash.
Hi, I'm Coletrain.
Well, Coletrain and PirateDash, welcome to the podcast. So Bronycon coming to an end soon.
Finally.
It's very sad. Would you like? I cry every time.
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell at this point in the cycle, it's so sad it's ending to a, yeah, it's ending.
Just get this over with.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
Well, still love it though.
I imagine that at about 5:30, 6 o'clock on Sunday, August 4th, there's going to be a flash flood warning in the convention center.
Oh, yeah, that's about right. Because we're gonna have I can't say names in this podcast that I can't say like attendee names because I've been calling them out. But like I know at least 3 people who are gonna be crying a bunch. One during Brony Palooza.
Fun.
Well, I guess it will be a sad day for a lot of bronies on that day. But take us back to the year of like 2012, 2013.
Jay?
That was a dark point in my life, so
Well, Bronycon.
But I assume you're wanting Bronycon history.
Yeah.
Hey, TJ, can I ask were you overweight and unemployed, or is that just now?
I have a job. It's with Uber.
Oh, okay, so it's just the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, like you're the one that should talk about the history since I'm
from the Best Coast.
Yeah, and you've been on staff for longer. We
Yeah,
probably should tell our roles with the con.
Yeah, let's go into that first. What are your roles?
Co-head of public relations, and I've been a public relations and staffer of Bronycon for. This is my 6th con. Wait. 20. Yeah, 6th con. That's how years work.
That's 6 years. Wow, you've been doing this a lot, huh, Coletrain?
Yeah, I started in 2014 because I wanted to work in 2013, but they wouldn't let me because I was 17, and they go, "No, you can't staff when you're 17." I literally got told, "Go complain to Obama," and I'm like, "Thanks." Yeah, I've been at this con I attended 2012. Then I worked at a small con in New York City called New York PonyCon that year. And it was right off the heels of con. So I was the smallest disaster to come out of that time. And that's where I met my future bosses at Bronycon, who then said, "Hey, this kid's cool. He's not as much of a loser as he seems. Let's bring him on." And they've regretted it ever since.
There's going to be a lot of self-depreciation.
Yeah, I mean,
heads up.
Yeah, like the thing is, it's fun when you do this for so long. You just kind of like you have fun with it, and you understand like where you come from. I could give you the whole spiel of like 2012 to now if you really want to, but I don't want to keep your time. You know what I mean? I could tell you more about it in detail if you want.
Well, what about you, PirateDash? What do you do for Bronycon?
They hired me as the press manager last year, so this is my 2nd year doing it, and everybody agreed that was a bad decision.
You were better than the last guy.
Okay.
Last guy.
But yeah, BronyCon's not the only convention that I've staffed. I've also staffed Cider Fest and Winnie City and done some work for some other cons that I don't want to mention right now. the reason why I got into all this was to try to transition to a public relations career and get some experience in that, because the old adage is all news reporters eventually end up in public relations, and I've seen it happen so many times in the area. I figured that was the natural path. So
Okay. Well, with the show sadly coming to an end, and I know that there was that dip a few years ago in number of bronies, but why have you guys continued to staff these conventions? What do you guys find most enjoyable about these?
that's the word you're going to use?
Yes, most enjoyable. Yes.
You go first.
Well, I guess I stopped being a brony like a while ago, and I guess what I find most enjoyable is the people I work with and the stuff I do. It's less about the show at this point for me, 6 years in, and more about the culmination of work into a tangible product. The awesome people I work with, like say TJ here, he got brought on last year in my first year as head of public relations, and I know we've been self-depreciating, but my first year was honestly kind of a trash fire, just because people were moving around. There was like instability with the con a little bit. I won't go too much in detail, but it was a crazy time.
Yeah.
So TJ was one of I want to say like my second or third hire of people who weren't just from internal Bronycon. Now I've gotten to know him more, I've worked with him more, and I really enjoy working with him. I really enjoy him as a person. I am excited to come up with ideas for him and work with him at con. And I guess that's the same thing with the entire public relations team. I can tell you right now, the last episode I watched is when Rarity opened the boutique in Manhattan. It's been that long.
I love that episode. That was
It's a solid episode.
It
and
is.
I just fell off around there just for a lot of reasons.
And
here I am, you know?
Yeah, and there's a lot of bronies that haven't seen past season 4, that still go to conventions, still have friends. And I think that's where the fandom is heading. It's, we go to these conventions to hang out with our friends across the world.
Yeah.
Pretty much like that. Doing a message real quick. I would say that's most of the stuff I see in public relations as well. It's just people wanting to come to a con and meet their friends. It's less about panels unless their friends are on the panel, or if it's a really famous person. Like, there's a joke we have in PR. Is one of our staffers. He has a lot of friends on the West Coast, and he's from the West Coast, and a lot of people know him. A lot of times they say, "You should come to this con. You should come to this con," and he constantly goes, "It's cheaper for me to meet you and not go to a con. I could just go to where you live and hang out for a couple of days." And his typical response to that is, "That's illegal. You can't do that." And I feel like that's what Bronycon is. People go to the con to hang out more so than to do stuff. And there's people who will go do random panels, but they always have a connection to it. And I feel like the era of going to a panel because it sounds interesting is kind of past us, because we've all kind of
Coletrain, you're not coming through.
Yeah, you cut out there.
Yeah, you did.
When did I cut out?
Right after you were talking about the panels.
That's kind of where I ended, where I said I feel like the era of panels, of people going to panels because they sound interesting, is kind of over, and now we're in the point of people go to a panel because they know someone on it, or know or the person running is famous or something like that. We're all sort of know where we are in this scene,
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Bronycon is. It's bad. We're not fandom driven events, in my opinion. You're not Comic-Con where that's like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Bronycon's one niche, and it's kind of never going to evolve past that. And
Right.
so people treat it in a certain way of just to go meet the people they like.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like that family reunion vibe at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
kind of
would
like
agree.
that.
Yeah. I find that that's what a lot of conventions have kind of moved towards. You know, I plan on going back to Windy City PonyCon because a lot of my friends go. But for this last Bronycon, I've been reading a lot online between a lot of the people in the fandom talking about it and stuff, and so many of them want to treat it like a giant party. What are your takes on that?
I mean, I'm already kind of planning that in a way. I already know that there's going to be some people there that I might be seeing for the last time. There's going to be some people that I haven't seen in a while. And then there's the usuals that I will end up seeing. So I want to try to get the most out of them as possible. And of course, this is the last time I'm ever going to Baltimore because I have no reason to go back.
No, you do.
I've been to Camden too many times.
Don't worry, in like 2021 when we're all nostalgic like we are from Minecraft right now, we'll just say, hey, staff only, come hang out at the con center. Just hang out in an empty building for a little bit.
Maybe we'll have G5 Bronycon, who knows?
Hey, no, don't say that, because you're going to give people the hope, and then they're going to email us, and no, they're going to email me, and not you.
That's fine. But no, I'm trying to plan dinners with people, trying to plan sketch jams with people, trying to plan adult beverage outings with people, because I know like this is going to be the last big party. It's going to be like senior year finals week kegger at the frat house.
Yeah,
I almost kind of feel like that's the scariest part, because like I don't want to schedule stuff. I'm scared to schedule stuff, really. I don't like scheduling stuff at con because I don't want to miss something with somebody. And like, I hate it. But then I just find myself sitting alone a bunch. I'm like, and I have to like third wheel myself on.
Yeah.
Well, I will freely admit one of the panels I got approved was intentionally done as a meetup. So just hoping everyone else understands that at this point.
Mm.
Speaking of panels, how many panels do we have approved? Or can we not say yet?
And I'm sure we could say, I just don't know.
Let's see, we've got the main hall, and there's 3 or 4 panel rooms, not including Chaos.
Yeah, there's one second.
Main, Hall of Sun, Hall of Moon, Hall of Stars, Chaos.
No. There's no stars this year. It's Hall, Sun, Moon, Chaos, and then there's like the gaming room and the tabletop room.
Okay, and Pastel Pastures.
Yeah. So it's like we have 3 main rooms and 1 side room. That's like only certain hours open.
Yeah. I think probably I'd say somewhere between 100 and 150 approved panels.
I would say it's safe. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I know there were a lot of submissions.
Oh, I bet that there were a lot of submissions. I'm sure there were a lot of former panelists that wanted to get onto the panel. And I know that you guys only have so much space for so many panels. So I know that a lot of panelists were trying to cram themselves together.
Yeah, we had a lot of people who were returning back to the fandom, or like returning Bronycon for first time in a while. We have that with the concert. We have that like with all over it, pretty much. We have that with VIPs.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited about the VIP lineup too. I will admit that.
Yes, since I'm sure you guys have already released the VIP lineup, who would you guys? Which lineup would you guys recommend people go see for the guest of honor panel?
You cut out again.
Oh,
he was fine for me. He was fine for me.
Oh,
honestly, the person I think that people should be most excited to see is Bonnie Zachary, and like just because like this is the first time a lot of people on the East Coast might see her at a Bronycon, or at a Brony convention.
Yeah, she hasn't been to one in a long time too. I think 2015 was the last one, and that was EQLA.
Yeah, now EQLA is gone the way of what Bronycon's going to be. I was making fun of them on Twitter before. So I'm going to say Jason Thiessen, too. I know the obvious answer people are going to say is Lauren Faust, but I go, Jason Thiessen's like, he was like our first ever VIP, and he hasn't been back in like since that first ever con. So like just seeing him again's gonna be really nice, you know?
And that was when the convention was in New Jersey.
No, that was when it was in New York.
Oh.
He's only been to one BronyCon. It was the 2011 one. That was like the second 2011 one, and it was the one that had Seth from EQD as a honor.
Gotcha. I think on my end, I'm excited to see Britt because she doesn't get out to many cons, and I kind of like her character too. Obviously, Bonnie, that's going to be a treat. I get to meet all of them through the press conferences I get to host for the convention, so
yeah,
that's a big honor and a big treat, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I came back to staff this year, because this year was going to be I'm done staffing, community guest fun year for me, and then you begged me at Dead Dog to come back.
I don't want to lose you after 1 year.
I know. But honestly, like being press manager in that first year.
And you wrote that sappy message on Facebook.
Yeah, that was after. There was that. I stylized that one after Jordan because Jordan did a similar one. And I thought, okay, I want to do one as well. But there's that, and just the way you guys accepted me and just like took me in. Like I've always said, like, the people I knew from Tumblr Pond was like a second family to me, and they still kind of are, but like you guys are right up there too. And that was one of the big reasons why I came back. No, you tied for the silver.
Hey, I mean, here's the thing. Like, that's something I've kind of.
I should clarify. Gold medal is the actual blood family.
I don't believe you on that. I don't think you have a family.
Really?
I know.
You should meet my sister. She's even louder and swearier than me.
Ooh, fun. But anyway, like, that's something I've actually taken pride in. That when I first joined PR, I was technically 17, but going to be 18 by the time of con, so it was fine. And when I came in, kind of a click. It was. I love the people who I worked with. Like, there's some of them are still on staff, but looking back, they were just in their own group, huddled together, and they brought me in, and they were awesome. And it was only that collapsed that I realized, wait a minute, buddy, outside this group started to become Bronycon, or when I started to become public relations head, to avoid that happening, and kind of made it a more chillax place that wasn't like no one knew each other. It was more of like we got all to know each other. We had fun with it. And we also had time to do work. Of like work versus play was never steady. It was one or the other. One had priority over the other, and I always made sure to like have that. And I've had people who worked for EQL or for Everfree Northwest come up and say to me, "This is the best con family I've had." Like, I've had people who've worked for multiple cons saying like, "This is the best con family I've had," and I'm very proud of it. And I'm proud of what us together. Yeah, and I'm proud of what us together as a team have done from that. can see other departments in Bronycon where through their own decision making or because of the nature of the beast, they don't have that. Literally, there's too many people or something like that. I'm happy that PR is able to exist in that realm where we can.
Well, and you guys have definitely accepted me into it with, me helping out PirateDash here with the camera work and stuff. And I really appreciate, getting the chance to work with you guys. And, one thing I'm actually wondering about is if you guys went back to any of the cons, just choose one of them in which you could have done something better.
Are we talking BronyCon specific?
Yeah, BronyCon specific.
You've been at other BronyCons, so you could probably talk as an attendee.
Yeah. Well, you go first because I have to think about which one I want to tell.
So I've got two. One is an attendee when I went in 2012, and one is a staffer, which I'll keep that general. As an attendee, something I do better back in 2012 is I wouldn't have taken part in the Brony documentary. Something I really regret, because that documentary is awful. And I'm in the credits.
I know people that actually appeared in that one.
Hey, you know another one. It's me.
Oh, okay.
And I'm one of the people who, when they first start talking about BronyCon, I'm literally the guy who the music fades down, and then there's a joke, and then it kicks back up. Oh,
I think we need to watch this at the booze potluck.
Oh no! Well, guess what? Is it still on Netflix?
I don't know. I don't have Netflix.
Is it the one done by John Delancey?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Actually, 1 second. I'll keep talking while I search Netflix to see if it's still on here. Oh no!
I own it.
No, you don't.
I own the documentary.
No, you don't. Please tell me you're lying.
Oh, I do. I have it on iTunes.
Oh, no.
Better bring it to the con or you're fired.
Please don't.
I can totally bring it to the con. That's not a problem.
I did have one of my former coworkers at one of my radio stations did watch that, and she was fine with it. I think she just watched it out of curiosity one night. She made comments.
It got on TV. It goes on TV sometimes.
Yeah, I remember that they made a big deal out of that documentary when it debuted on the gay channel.
The Oprah channel?
No, Logo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was on Logo. Oh, that even made it worse. Because Logo is just an awful channel from a production value standpoint. It's like what Spike is for men, but it's the extreme opposite. And it's no, why are you like this?
I don't even think it still exists anymore.
It doesn't anymore. But that doc, I would get myself out of that. I would not sign the release. I would just say I'm done. I don't want to do this, and it would save me so many anxiety attacks. You know what? Bring it. Go ahead and bring it, Dratta. We'll put that at the potluck with PR, and I'll just drink heavily.
I thought you were going to do that no matter what.
Now, hey, at least I'm not the old deputy head of PR who is listed as a executive producer because he gave a couple grand to it.
Oh.
Anyway, thing I would do as a staffer that I would have done better is probably as a staffer in. You know what? Probably this is something I think is a life lesson in my. In fourth years, I would have told myself and made myself not care so much about this. Because I think that's something that this con could have to other conventions, and TJ can speak on that because I've only worked at Bronycon. I worked at the other con, but that was my 1 year, and I never really saw it grow. We used to have a thing called ConCom, which was all the department heads, and it used to be a singular group. And that group was differentiated from everyone else. And I used to want to be a part of that because I thought that was the important people. I used to want to try and make myself look good, which was something that I've looked back on going, wow, I was kind of tried to make that go away. And TJ saw it a little bit last year where I was just frustrated with things, but I think myself out a little bit, and you can be my therapist and tell me if that's true or not, TJ, but
No, you're fine.
I would have honestly told myself, chillax, have fun, focus on the people you're with right now and working with. And don't worry if you don't get a gold pin or a embroidered blanket or whatever Concom used to get, or you don't get your OC on a badge. And focus on the now and be happy.
That's understandable.
That's very good life advice there, Coletrain. I totally agree. Just be happy in the moment.
Yeah, and that's not to say that you shouldn't strive for more, but don't ignore what you have because you want the shiny thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Still go for the shiny thing, but like make it your sole focus.
I guess on my sorry.
I was just gonna say, your turn, Pirate Dash.
I guess on my end, as an attendee, I'll do an attendee and a staff one too. As an attendee, I've never really had anything bad happen at the con itself. Like all my experiences at Bronycon have been pretty good, and it's one of my favorite cons to attend. I'm going to be sad it's gone. I guess the only thing as an attendee would be like, stop trying to drag big groups to Cheesecake Factory.
No, you should take me to Cheesecake Factory.
No. Did they have steak there?
I think they had. No, but keep going.
So it's a lesson that I should have learned twice. First time it happened was in 2014. We had the Tumbler Pond panel Saturday night, 8:00. And after that got done, like I was in a pretty low place, and I just felt this motivation after the speech. So I got like 35 to 40 people jammed in a hotel room, and I gave this like locker room speech of like, screw everybody, don't listen to the bad people, stuff like that.
You give a Jim Valvano?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I decided, like, hey, let's all go to Cheesecake Factory. And this was at 11:30 at night, trying to get 35 people to go to Cheesecake Factory. We abandoned the idea when only like 8 made it. And then 2 years ago, we had a group of about 12 to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And we tried. They don't take reservations there, which is part of the problem. And then we're just sitting there waiting for a table. About an hour and a half, 2 hours had passed, and like, okay, well, we finally got a table for you guys. They were going to sit us in the outdoor patio area. They were about to get the table set up when a downpour happened. So we couldn't get those tables anymore because there was a torrential downpour. So we had to wait another hour before we got seated. And like everybody was fine with it, but I was just stressed the frick out. And that, I think that's when I learned the lesson. Don't drag so many people to Cheesecake Factory again. Staff wise, I think so. Last year was the first time I ever staffed Bronycon, and I had been kind of talking with Jordan, the girl that does the blank canvas cosplay,
right,
about what to expect, because I had staffed Cider Fest in Winnie City before, and I kind of had a base for what to expect, but we were just talking about it, and it's like Bronycon's a different beast. Like she was like wiped out constantly because of all the stuff she had to do, and I didn't know what to expect into it. So I'm doing press conferences. I'm also trying to visit my friend's table who is selling some of my stuff. I also took part in the scavenger hunt thing where like people would come up to you and try to get the stamps. I volunteered to be one of those. So by Saturday night, I was just drained and exhausted, and I didn't want to deal with anybody. So I kind of locked myself away in the press room with the slice of cheesecake I got from the Cheesecake Factory. And I texted Jordan, and I was like, I now get what you mean. So.
Oh boy, that's lightning.
So yeah, I guess I think this year, like, I think I have a lot more on my plate staffing this year, but I think I'm going to try and manage the time a little better.
All right. Well, is there anything this con the both of you really wanted to accomplish? Like, what's your biggest goal you want to hit?
Oh, I've got a couple. I've hit most of my. Having an earthquake or light or thunder? Gosh, my house is
Sounds
shaking.
like he's gonna die tonight.
This is what happens when I when I meme and it's not Kibby or our social media guy. It's like people get angry.
I think everybody knows who does it at this point.
Well, they get confused, and it's very funny when they think I'm him. Anyway, that's too inside baseball. The thing I'm most proud of this year is that I've had projects come out both internally and externally that have been moderately successful. You've seen it, Dratta, and I'm sure some of your viewers have seen it, like the scarves we've done.
Yeah.
That are like super limited edition. That was all me. I will say, well, the design wasn't made, but the idea was made, and I will totally take credit for it, so other people can't.
It's seeing those scarves in person at MSP. I'm so excited to get one.
Yeah, so like that was supposed to be a gift for just PR, and funnily enough, it through a number of channels it got to the chairs, and Khan sort of said, "Hey, we should expand it for more attendees and also give some to staff." And I thought, as someone who used to think that if they wanted the gold thing, they wanted to be the person who reached the precipice and was part of the cool group and got the cool stuff, how fun would it be for me to be the person who says, yeah, let's give it to as many people as we can on staff and then like in attendees. And so I'm happy that was able to happen. And also I'm happy with, like, the other project I'm happy with is that we as a con have expanded with other conventions. We have a bunch of cool stuff. Like, we've been to a bunch of conventions this year as tables. We have 18 conventions coming to Bronycon to table or to take part in stuff. We've got it seems as though we've really built a lot of bridges, and we've really had a lot of fun with it this year. I'm happy that if there was any beef before my time, it has either been squashed or at least covered over a little bit.
I think the idea, because I remember you talking about this, was like it was Adopt-A-Con.
Yes, so the original idea was supposed to be, hey, BronyCon's ending, you need to adopt a con, and we're going to have a special section where you can have all the cons laid out. And design said, it sounds like you're going to a shelter and you have these sad puppies trying to get your attention. Design, it's just a really good name. And they go, no, it's not a good name. I'm like, shut up. What do you know? It's not like you create all this. It's dumb. I'm going to go create a scarf. Have fun, losers. That was the idea. And now it's become Convention Alley, which is kind of a spy thing, which goes with our theme.
I do like the spy thing. I guess my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine's gonna be a little more selfish than Coletrain's, admittedly, because I just got off the wait list for a table in the Artist Alley, and one of the things I've always wanted to try and do was break 4 figures in sales numbers at a con, and I feel like the Last Bronycon is my best and last chance to do that. So I want to try to get at least $1,000 in sales at my table. But a little more realistic goal would be break my all-time best. So there's that.
Hey, I'm just gonna say we're gonna have plenty of liquor. If you just want to sell shots under the table, that's totally fine.
I don't think that's allowed.
I mean, if Screwloose doesn't know, and you just say, "Hey, give me $2 and you'll get a shot of Jaeger."
Well, he wants a main event T-shirt, so maybe I'll give him the T-shirt and he'll look the other way.
Exactly. Just start selling liquor to children.
That's bad. No, that's an awful idea.
It's Baltimore. Who cares?
I would like Screwloose to approve me for Cider Fest.
Screwloose approves everybody. He allowed you into this.
I get that.
The bar
it's getting tougher to get into a CharlieCon in the vendor hall.
Oh, Charlie's just starting to blacklist you more and more for the emo photos.
Oh,
Have we just lost our minds?
Getting there. But yeah, like, so I want to do well sales wise, and then just have fun at the con, have fun, because I know I'm going to get a chance to meet most, if not all, the VIPs, and so it's like, just have fun with them and just try to talk to them and get to know them a little bit, and just have some fun with the press conferences and just have fun with the panels, because I've always had some pretty fun panels at conventions, and it's just sell well and have some fun and get the most out with some of these people that I know I might not see them in person again, but because you never know, but treat it like you're leaving college after this.
Yeah. So I do have a question specifically for Coletrain here, and that is because I know that you haven't worked too many other cons, as you've said. What are you going to do after the Last Bronycon? What's your plan? Do you plan on maybe helping out another convention, or do you plan on retiring from that?
It is. I'm a free agent, and I will see where that takes me. I'm going to take some. I'm probably going to take a break just to start focusing on IRL for a little bit. Just because I've been doing this for 6 years, I need to start like, hey, I need a job. I just got out of college. I need a job. Other stuff. So, but after that, once I start having things together, I know a lot of people in other conventions. I have experience. I'm going to see if I can do stuff for fun. Our vice chair, Dexanth, has told me I would be a great VIP handler. I don't believe her, but I would love to, like, just try it. Try to maybe I'd go back into PR. Maybe I would just do straight up events. Maybe I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All right.
But right now, the immediate plan is just take a break and then see where the wind blows.
Well,
and I think you got the soccer thing as well, too.
Yeah, I do a lot of soccer writing, so like I could always go into that sort of thing too. But convention-wise, maybe a sports convention. Who knows?
All right. Well, it's been great having you guys on this podcast tonight, and we're kind of nearing the end here. But do you guys have any final suggestions that people should do at this convention?
Don't talk to Infodesk. In all seriousness, probably just enjoy it. Sign up for Bar Trot, please, and just even if you have a group you're doing stuff with, just make sure you explore the city and explore, and maybe try and find one more new thing. Like, try and break out of that group and see like one last thing, because it's gonna be like we're expecting like 8,000 people, 10,000 people. Like, there's gonna be a lot of people. Who knows who you meet?
You could also check out the Cube tournament.
The Cube. Hungry.
I guess all I'm gonna say is Artist Alley Table 109. Buy my stuff.
And also go visit the other con tables too, because they're cool tables. And even if you're we have cons from other countries, we have cons from other parts of the USA, We have cons from other genres. Go say hi to them.
All right. Well, thank you both. And as always, guys, this is Dratta Arcana at Dratta Talks. And as always, if you're looking to contact me, you can contact me via dratta.arcana@gmail.com or Dratta Arcana Gaming on Facebook. And thanks for joining me tonight with special guests
PirateDash
and Coletrain.
And we'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good night, every pony and every creature.